Hi, everybody. Good Sunday afternoon to you. It's Sunday, the 21st of February. We're doing a live lesson today on Angelina. I want to welcome my guest, Jamie Shores. She's on the Zoom.
Hello,
How,
yes,
how are you
I'm
doing,
here.
Jamie? We're having a little bit of audio trouble. Hopefully, you can hear me a little bit better, Jamie. We're just having a little bit of a glitch here, but hopefully, we'll power through it. Uh, the song today was Angelina. It was a Harry Belafonte song, and I have it available at a slower tempo. The actual tempo that I recorded the actual track is a little bit faster. So today we're going to work on the slower tempo. And if you guys wouldn't mind, as you always do, would you help us with sound and making sure that we're doing what we're supposed to do? We're having a little bit of a glitch, but if we're too loud or too soft, please let us know. If you're not hearing us at all, I guess that's a whole different problem. So we want you to stop by and say hi and just ask some questions if you need to or if you'd like to. We're going to cover a lot of different things today. But first we're going to play the song. And I'm going to put my mic down here. Like I said, we had this fixed until about 5 seconds ago, so we'll just do the best we can. I'm going to play the song maybe one time through. I'm going to put the mic down so we can hear that a little bit better. So that is what it sounds like. That was actually just one time through, and that was at a little bit slower tempo, as I said. It's going to be a bit of a higher tempo on the actual track if you download that. Jamie, what do you have to say about that song? And let's throw it over to you for just a second.
For sure. Having never heard it before, I was really pleasantly surprised. And of course, all the things that Harry Belafonte used to sing are perfect. They're super happy and cheery major chords. And this one is relatively syncopated. And so I can't remember if that's been a Bobble Brad word, but it's definitely a word to know because a lot of island music is syncopated. That's what gives it the upbeat feel. And speaking of upbeats, that means that a lot of the notes are played off of the beat or on the upbeat. So if you hear a musician or somebody, telling you that you're playing on the upbeats, instead of playing 1, 2, 3, 4, you would play on the and or the up and I'm sorry about this, but the dog. And we'll talk more about why I'm saying the word dog later, but you're going to play on 1 and 3 and 4 and. So we'll talk more about how you can start to break down what you see. I'm trying to keep in mind that maybe not everybody reads music as well as we have, or we do, because we're seasoned at it. So we'll take you through the syncopation, and it makes it really fun to and challenging to play. So definitely challenging, but fun.
Okay, great information. I'm going to go over to the whiteboard. And we have a couple of things over here. One is that she was talking about the syncopation, and the syncopation she's talking about is eighth notes. Now, I know there are people who know this, and there are people who don't. So the people who don't know this, we have 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and that's a rest. So with the way I teach this to people who have never heard it before, I call these hot dogs. Hot dog, hot dog, hot dog. That is a rest or don't play it note, and that's the dog. Hot dog, rest dog. And that's how you interpret that line. in this song, there is a little bit of as Jamie pointed out, there's some syncopation. That means the stuff that's not on the downbeat. You have these who aren't on the downbeat, where the hot is. They're just the dogs. But I sometimes call these chips, and those are longer notes. It's chips, hot, dog, rest, dog, chips, chips, rest. Chips, hot, dog, rest, dog, chips. So that's a little bit of a rhythm, encouragement on that. Also up here, the Bobble Brad thing of the day. Bobble Brad is going to tell us that the word of the day is dominant seventh. Now this is for maybe a little bit more advanced players, because dominant seventh is something you see a lot of. Dominant seventh is represented by, the board cam here, is the G7. The G7 chord interprets this way. Now this is a little bit higher theory stuff. A regular G major 7 chord, you can see the triangle there. That means major 7, G, B, D, F sharp. First of the chord, third of the chord, fifth of the chord, seventh of the chord. How did I get that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In a regular formation like this, G major 7. If you lower the seventh, which is that one, the seventh tone, if you lower it by giving it a natural, that brings it down to a G7 chord. And that's how you interpret that. They call it a major chord with a minor seventh. So that's a little bit, probably more than you wanted to know. But that's how you see those a lot. Like the D7 chord, you have D, F sharp, A, and then C. So that's a D7 chord. Licks that sound great on this song, because it is in the key of G, is you can use the pentatonic scale. Jamie, is that right? Have you used that before?
Always. Yes, and it's easy because it's only 5 notes and you don't even have to use all 5. And so I like the lick that you're going to play, and then I'm going to play one, if there's time, that you played before that I already stole, which is what it's all about, people. Listen, and well, you don't steal. It's like paying a tribute to those musicians from whom you stole. Okay, so I'm gonna show it if there's time. So back to you, Dad.
Okay, well, the lick that I was gonna do involves the notes D, E, and G. The pan cam's not working right now, but I'm going to tell you what I'm playing now is the D and the E and the G. So that lick works really well. You can do it downstairs. And those 3 notes work really well over the song, because those notes are common to a couple of different chords. So I'm going to look at the chat in just a second.
While you're doing that, I'm going to continue to talk about my lick that I stole.
Okay.
So he talked about D, E, and F. Those are great. And then I heard him go, just adding the bottom of the pentatonic scale that is in your cheat sheet. So I skipped A and I just went from G to B, D, E, F. So, and then I played it in that cool little riff. So steal that. It doesn't have to all be super duper original if you're going to do a couple of licks. I heard my dad play that, and probably from now on this tune, I'm going to steal that lick. I mean, pay tribute to the great Brad Shores with that lick.
Well, thank you. That's very nice and actually very true. Of course, I'm kidding.
Andy's humble too, folks. Andy's humble.
Well, I did have a scoop of humble pie before we started. Yeah, we have tried everything with these mics, and we had it working so well, didn't we, Jamie? Just until
yes, we had it perfect, and we were all excited, and
all of a sudden it's gone. But we're working on it, and we're continuing. We've ordered some new equipment, and looks like the cam will be back shortly. We're working on it. The other thing I wanted to talk about is we have a free track for you. We call it the mystery track.
Yes.
So I'm going to have Jamie upload the product on her chat so that you guys can see. It'll if you hit the link, it'll take you right to the very product. It goes right to tropicalshores.net, and if you enter the code or the code that goes with it, you can have it for free. Now you have to go through checkout. I get all that. We tried
Oh,
it.
shoot.
Hopefully it works. So she's going to upload that.
Of course, now I screwed up. I screwed it up. Everybody just wait a second now. And you know what? Having been teaching over the internet this past year of our lives, I'm used to screwing that up. Please, one moment. Don't click that one. My students are used to it. They're just like, always just wait for the second link to come through the chat because Miss Shores. Okay, sorry. I included the code here. So everybody can click on this link. And then the code, it will be, yes, it's in the chat. Okay. The code will be, tell them the code, right? Yeah. The code is
lessons.
Yes. Okay, so ignore the first thing that I did, of course, because I'm telling you, you just have to let it roll off your back, because if you don't, every day would just be spent in I always, oh my gosh, so many stories of the students just staring at me, you know, at home, waiting for me to share my screen or tell them something or show. It's just, and I said, this is my literal nightmare. A bunch of middle school kids staring at me while I try to do something, and it's the worst. And then they just still sit there, and I'm like, you're still doing it. They don't smile, they don't laugh. They're just like, it's very difficult. Okay, so there it is, everyone.
Did you put the link in there, Jamie? I'm not seeing
I put the link in there. I uploaded it to the chat, which is not the right terminology, but I'm going to let it slide because you are the great Brad Shores. The link is there. The code is under it.
I'm looking for it.
Well, it's there. I hit enter.
Okay, I see the code there, but I'm just checking because I don't want to. Okay.
It is on a delay, so.
Yes, thank you for that. All right, so we have the pan cam back, and we're apologizing for these technical. We had this solid, and then I swear to you, at 4:55, we had a major malfunction. So
yeah, I was like, oh no, I couldn't hear.
We're gonna upgrade our equipment, but we've got the video or the audio nailed down better, but we're still working on equipment and upgrading. So, Jamie, Ocean Blue says no on the link yet. Why don't you do that? I'm gonna show them something on the pan cam, that lick I showed them before. And it is this lick. It's D-E-G. D-E-G. And you can do it downstairs too. And that lick goes really well. And I'm going to go over to the board for just a second. This is the lick right here. It's D, E, and G. And then I played D, E, and G again. So repetition is always a really good thing to use. Repetition is very nice in music like this. So also, I wanted to bring your attention to, and we're going to jump into the theory part now.
No link yet, so, oh no.
I want to talk to you about the theory sheet. Has the G major scale on it, of course, and then the G pentatonic scale. And remember, you can play these up and down. And then you have on the third line, you have the G chord, then you have the G7 chord, the C chord, C, E, G, the D chord, D, F sharp, A. There's the D7 chord, D, F sharp, A, C. Now, I'm not saying that you have time to play all these all the time. And then you have the C minor chord. I want to draw your attention to that because they use the C minor chord a couple of times in this. And if you are trying to play the changes or doing any improvisation, when you hit the C minor chord, you better be playing an E flat, because that's how you spell that. And on the outline, you could see I also gave you some rhythms to work on the chord changes. So the first chord change at 17 is a G chord. I didn't write it out, but it is. Second one is a C chord. Third is a D chord. So I did an outline like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to play just a little bit with this. I'm going to play these chord changes with those notes. And that's another way you can do improvisation, is to use rhythm over chords. And here we go. Here we go. So in that way, I used all of those chord changes. I just outlined them in a rhythmic style, which is great for this piece because it sort of mimics the rhythm of the song. So you get to hear the rhythm of the song. So
Hey, I got an idea.
yeah, go ahead.
Just when you were doing that, and speaking of rhythm and teaching maybe those who aren't as familiar with the written language of music, we typically teach I'm sorry, I know you guys aren't young. You're on YouTube, so you're not 5, but we typically teach people who don't know how to read music yet to say a phrase. So for example, when my dad was just playing what's on the bottom of the theory sheet, you could play the rhythm, play the rhythm, play the rhythm. That phrase, the way I'm saying it, is in the rhythm of the music. And then the other one that was talked about on the board, the one, and you know what? That's typical of Trinidad style of teaching music anyways, teaching by rote. And they'll just come up to you and go, they'll say it to you with whatever. We use words. They use maybe like grunts or like showing you with claps and stuff like that. So all that to say, the other rhythm that my dad had on the board on the bottom, my brother made this up when he was like 8. We call it my mommy and dad, my mommy and dad, my mommy and dad. That's a typical soca style rhythm that you typically see. So we always say my mommy and dad. So you see that a lot at the end of each of the phrases, and I can go all day about all this stuff. At the end of the musical sentence, if you will, which is normally followed by a rest in this case, you can see bum, ba, bum, ba, bum. That rhythm comes up a lot. So my mommy and dad, or play the rhythm, play the rhythm. It all goes together.
Yeah, that's really good stuff. Really good stuff. Must have had a good teacher. I also want to tell you, Jamie, that they are not seeing the link, so I want to encourage you.
I have been putting it in there like 14 times. Oh my goodness. Oh, Gerald Lewis says I see the code.
No, they see
no
the code,
link.
they don't see the link. So
no link yet. Oh goodness. Yes. I'm putting it in there.
What I like to do here is I use rhythm. Put the link in. Put the link in. Put the link in. Things like that. That's always something that I like to do. So I'm just kidding, of course. I just want to say hi to everybody, Gerald and Marcia and Mary and Annette. Good to see you. And Marcia and Bob and all these people. Thank you for stopping in. I'm sorry that we're having these problems. It's just we're working so hard to get this right. And let's see what else we got. I also want to tell you that we are going to shift to a twice a week programming, meaning we're going to do our next program, our next live stream on March 7th. Of course, we will let you know about that. And also,
that's twice a month, Dad. You said twice a week. It's twice a month. I was like, hey, wait a minute now. I did not sign up for this. Don't change my contract online. That's rude.
I'm mistaken. I goofed it up. Okay. I love these rhythms. Now, we also want to let you know that we are making donations to the Red Cross this week because it is they're doing such a great job, as they always do, but particularly in the state of Texas where they're struggling so much. Here in Kansas, we've had not much of that. We've had some bad weather, and of course it was frighteningly cold, but we didn't lose power here. So I'm not sure if anybody did. Maybe in Wichita they did, but also want to thank all of our donors, and I've just got a partial list of them, and we're just so thankful that we can do that. We're going to upgrade our miking system. The OBS program that we use is a little bit unpredictable for us, so we're still working on it, doing little things. Make sure you can find today's music at bradshoresmusic.com. Go to the Steel Drum tab and you can download it. And I usually leave those up for a couple weeks. After that, if you want them, you could go to tropicalshores.net and get them there. But you'll have to pay for them. And I want you to remember, if you know people that would like to see this, remind them to subscribe and hit the little bell, which is the notification. It tells people, it helps us communicate with them, as you all probably know. Hey, there's Nikki Hart. Nikki Hart was one of my students and one of Jamie's friends in.
Nikki, wow! Hart, yeah. I think didn't Nikki used to babysit me sometimes?
She wouldn't admit it, but she did.
Wow.
So she was actually a phenomenal. She played in the very first steel drum band I had at my school in Nickerson. She's now a comedian, and I believe she lives out on the West Coast, but I can't divulge that because it's secret.
Oh, well,
Okay,
hey.
but it's so great to see you, and thank you for coming in. And Jamie, there's no link yet. So
I really have been putting it on there like 4 times. I will keep trying. I'm very not sure how I feel right now. It's in there. I will keep trying. I'm
okay.
putting it on there.
You just type it in is all you do.
Maybe does anybody have any questions about this tune particularly, or any other things that they would like to know while I literally copy and paste this link?
Yeah, we need some good questions here. Again, sorry about all the technical difficulties. I think we say that a lot, but we are learning to use this program and learning how to do Zoom, and it's kind of complicated for a couple of musicians, especially drummers. We're really struggling, but
I can't believe we actually are. Our faces, I can hear you.
Miscommunication does a great job, but we're struggling with it today. She's doing a great job, but it's unpredictable. So
yeah, you owe miscommunication a dinner.
Yes, or 2. Let's see. Well, I think we're going to do the play along. I'm going to do that. Jamie, did you do the link again, or?
I did the link again. Okay. I see it.
Oh, you do? Okay. Well,
yeah,
I'm going to tell you that if worst comes to worst, we're going to type in. You can go to tropicalshores.net and you can type in. Look for Cinco Samba. That's the song. It's Cinco, like SYNCO, Cinco Samba. And if you find that track and you put it in your cart and you use the code lessons, it's free. So I was hoping to make it easy for you, but I don't know. Something's not working quite correctly. So again, tropicalshores.net. And then you go to find Cinco Samba. Just search it, Cinco Samba. So play along, and then you put it in your cart, and you use lessons as your code, and then you just download it, and it should be there for you. If all else fails,
I'll try to type out those instructions. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
What's going on? Oh goodness, maybe we need this. We need a break next week. Woo, we're all right. I'm gonna mute up so you can play.
I'm sorry, step on. Right. We're going to do the play along. I'm going to put my mic down so you can pick up the pan a little bit better. as I was playing there, I remembered something I wanted to tell you, and one of those things is that there's a thing you can do, and you play the D, and you could play the G scale, but you keep going back to the D. For instance, I'm playing the D with my right hand. I'm going to go up the G scale with my left hand. Here it is slow. And that's a great little filler lick. It's easy to play, and it's just really fun. It just fills some time. I also did a little quote there. Now, quoting is something we haven't talked about. Quoting is when you play a part of a different song. So I played just a little bit of Yellowbird that goes like this. I played that in at the top of one of my solos. I went. I don't think you can go much more than that on Yellowbird, but sometimes if you do a quote, people will go, "Hey, did he just play Yellowbird, or was I mistaken?" So, have you ever done that, Jamie? Have you ever played quotes?
Yes, I love that story.
Oh, okay.
I love that story about Yellowbird. Sorry, you froze for a second.
Okay. The other thing.
Can I tell it? No,
Yeah,
you tell it. I'm terrible at telling
I
stories.
don't even know what story you're telling me, so you go ahead.
It's the one where, okay, I don't know exactly where you were. Maybe you were at a group living where people have Alzheimer's or dementia, remember? And then, so you were playing a tune, and he quoted some other songs. He like quoted, I don't remember which one you quoted. And so the people in the home were listening, and then one of maybe the woman, she was just kind of sitting there, just kind of zoned out a little bit, like not really looking like she was paying attention. I wasn't there. This is secondhand. And then dad quotes something, and when he's done playing the whole tune, she sits up and is like, "Did you just play Yellowbird?" And she something in her mind remembered that she knows that little part of that song, and I just think that's really powerful. I think it's such a cool story that that happened.
I need to embellish on that story. She was actually, she looked like she was asleep the entire time when I was playing, and she had her head down on her table, and I quoted Yellowbird, and I also quoted and Never on Sunday. I always quote the Dream of Jeannie, and I always quote the Chicken Dance in Baja. Those three things, it's my go-to. It's my best thing. So I quoted those three things. As I'm packing up, everybody else is gone except her, and she was sitting right in front of me. And she grabbed my arm. It scared me. She grabbed my arm and said, "Hey." And I was like, "What?" She said, "Did you play those three?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I did." She was the only one in the room that probably, well, she's definitely the only one that said something, but she was the only one in the room that, acknowledged it. But I thought she was asleep the whole time. So,
yeah.
A couple
Dad, when you talk into your mic, back off just a little bit. Okay, it's very, very muffled.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Okay.
I know. I feel bad for you.
Hi, Frank. Good to see you. Better late than never, he says. Cinco Samba is the lick. That is correct. Cinco Samba is the lick. So that is correct. If you search that song, Cinco Samba, on tropicalshores.net, put it in your cart, check out, put the code lessons in there, and it should do that. If all else fails and we've messed that up too, email me, brad@tropicalshores.net. And I'll send it to you. So I want you to have
it. Works. I put the instructions there too. Yes. Okay. Click on the super track or the play along or the back track. There is a Cinco Samba arrangement. You probably don't want that one. The one that you're going to get for free costs $3.99. But then when you put lessons in the coupon code box, then it makes it free.
And I noticed, I had forgotten this, but there is actually a suggested solo in there. There's a solo section in Cinco Samba, and there's a suggested solo I wrote out and put it in there for you. So it's a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
If I may say so myself, and I may. I wanted to say hi to everybody again and encourage you to ask questions if you have any questions. And something else went through my mind, darn it. Just that we are going to donate to the Red Cross this week, and we appreciate everybody's support. Again, we're working on upgrading things. We're learning more about this program, but it's important for us, for me and Jamie, that we like working together, and we think it's important to give information and give content that will help. So we've gotten some great suggestions, and so I appreciate that. And Yellowbird is definitely, that's the one I think I said that. I start with Yellowbird every time because I'm very confident with it and I read the room with it. And that's one of the things that, a gig tip, Jamie, do you have one? We're a little bit short on time, but do you have a gig tip for us? I have one if you want to think of one.
Yes, you go and I'll think of
You
one.
always want to read the room on volume. For instance, I remember playing a gig one time, and I could see that people were doing this kind of. They were kind of like giving me this sort of thing, and I thought, okay, well that means it's too loud. You never. That's the worst thing in the world is to see people going like that. Either that, or I was playing wrong notes. I don't know which it was, but they were trying to tell me it's a little loud, so we turned way down. And people really appreciate being able to talk and watch it. At least where we don't play clubs or anything, but I mean, sometimes when we're at a place where there's people just talking, having coffee, they really appreciate not having to talk over you. So read the room and be aware of your volume. That's a gig tip.
That's excellent. I don't really have one. I have one related to that, and it's okay to do a sound check. Turn your music on, walk away to the other side of the room, and that's totally fine. Nobody's going to think it's weird. You need to do a sound check and make sure that your treble is not too high. That is one of the most, if you've got an EQ on your speaker, as a musician, when I go anywhere that's either another live musician or at a restaurant or at a concert, don't turn your treble up too high. It's the worst. But yeah, definitely. And tell the host, whoever hired you, please feel free to come up and tell me if I'm too loud or too soft. And so that makes them feel more comfortable.
Yeah, that's a very professional thing to do, and they really appreciate that because they don't want the person that's going to get complaints is them. So
yeah,
definitely read the room. And there was one other gig tip I was thinking about, and that was to make sure that when you are being paid is to make sure you know who's paying you, because they get busy, and they're not always thinking about you. And just as a courtesy to them, just kind of help them out and say, hey, I'm Brad, who should I see about payment? And they'll go, oh, that's me. I'm glad you said something. That's just one thing that I learned over time because I left a lot of gigs without being paid. So
especially at weddings, get paid first, because as the night goes on, everybody's doing the next thing. The weddings are the most awkward if you didn't get paid yet and you still have to like hunt down whoever it is. Sometimes it's the bride herself. Like I've been paid by brides. I'm like, okay, and it's so yes, that's really great. And I love Yellowbird too. And I have a story. I had a student one time, this has been years ago, but his family was from Trinidad. And I was new to this school and I was showing my class my steel drum. And so I start to play Yellowbird and I just see a little hand shoot up and he goes, I know that song. And I was like, you do? Really? Wow. Do you recognize? He's like, yeah, my family is from Trinidad. So he got up on the piano and accompanied me on Yellowbird. It was the coolest thing. And I just love the idea that music transcends, time and distance sometimes, and it's very cool and connects us all. So, and musical instruments more time. Oh, good. Cinco Samba. Yes.
Yep. I just want to make sure they knew because it's not spelled with a C. Cinco, not
Samba. Good.
And great. Yeah, Frank is talking about. We were talking about tuning earlier this week, and he's close to Morgantown, or within an hour, I think he said, south of Pittsburgh. If I remember you saying that. Yeah, tuning's a big deal. I'm so envious of people who are close to tuners because I'm not. And now you are, Jamie. I mean, you're closer than I am.
I was gonna say that's yeah.
But well, we want to thank you. It's time for us to get out of here, and we'll thank you guys for hanging in there and helping us with the sound and all. We're gonna continue working on it. We'll have some better equipment next time, and we're gonna have it next. The March 7th is the next one, and we'll have it only twice a month after that. It's quite a bit of prep work, and I think that I could do a better job if I had a little bit more time, just being honest. And it was Jamie's idea. No, I'm kidding. I'm just throw her under the bus.
Hey, now don't just blame everything on your kids.
Well, they'll believe that. So anyway, thanks again, and we hope to see you guys next time. And if you have any questions offline, always Jamie or I. Jamie is shoresjr@gmail.com, which I think is cool because it's kind of like Junior Shores. Shores JR. I love that.
Not about that, but okay.
And mine,
my initials. Brad, you did that on purpose, didn't you?
I'm sorry, I was talking. Brad at tropicalshores.net is mine. And the next time I'm going to be working on a song called Banana Funk, which is a really, really fun fun piece to play. and it has a great solo section if you're into that, and it gives you a lot of time and space to work on your improv. So again, we'll see you. Thank you again, Jamie. And Misinformation, thank you for your great job today. So
Thanks, Dad.
we'll see you next time.
I can do the play along.